Hello, Ravale Mohydin. Thank you for taking part in our interview for the TRT World Research Centre.
Thank you, Mamoon, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Turkish entertainment media appears to be enjoying global popularity. What do you think is behind that appeal?
There are several factors. One of them is that previously, when it all started, the conditions in the local Turkish industry had changed. We had very big budgets and extremely high quality programming, and so that obviously attracted a lot of foreign buyers. Then there are theories like researchers have talked about cultural proximity, how Turkish content has been very, very appealing to people who share similar social cultural norms, religious norms. That's important. Then there are those who talk about the influence of foreign policy shifts. One of the countries that comes to mind, which is also the case study the case study that I've conducted, is Pakistan. Pakistan recently, there are two reasons to consider Pakistan in terms of foreign policy shifts influence. One is that Bollywood content has been facing recurrent bans in the country, and that allowed for a space to be created in the entertainment sector. What that did was that people, producers and distributors look towards Turkish content to kind of fill in the space left behind. Also, Turkey and Pakistan have had extremely good relations historically. Prime Minister Imran Khan himself actually advocated for a historical drama series, Ertugrul, to be played on state-run television, dubbed in the local language.
Your study looked at the impact of watching Turkish drama on supporting or aligning with Turkey. Could you tell me something about your research findings?
So this study was conducted in Pakistan, as I mentioned before as well. We were looking at factors that lead to building of appeal of Turkish entertainment in foreign countries. And one of the factors that we looked at was like the support and for Turkey and alignment with it. The first interesting finding was that survey respondents who said that they watched Turkish content, there was significant difference between them and the ones who said they didn't, in terms of whether they supported Turkey or not. And that includes using Turkish products, Turkish services, following Turkish news, supporting Turkish cinema, all of that. Now, the other finding, which was interesting, was that the more Turkish content that they watched, the more likely they were to support Turkey. That was an interesting finding as well. For example, if somebody had viewed more than one drama series in the past 5 years, was more likely than somebody who had only seen one. Then we also found that the key ingredient which led to more and more people supporting Turkey while watching Turkish dramas was relating personally to characters in Turkish soap operas. This was the most important factor, even more important than religion, even more important than gender, age, all the background characteristics that we find interesting or we would find to be to have an impact on support for Turkey. So yeah, that's something which was interesting. These are the three main findings of the study.
Right, it is interesting that people who identify with either fictional characters or historical characters, that translates into support to current or modern Turkey. This Turkish drama has reached its peak, or do you think there is yet more success to come? And also, do you think its success, do you think that translates to influence in the region?
Answering the first part of your question, I think the Turkish content success is yet to reach its peak. because it's very much aligned with the hopes and aspirations of the people of the region. And as far as it continues to capture those, then I think it's going to continue to grow and inspire people in their lives, in their everyday lives. And as far as when it comes to Turkish influence in the region, definitely it does. I think there is a connection between, as we saw in the case study in Pakistan, that Turkish content does translate to Turkish influence and Turkish support for Turkey. So, but however, I would like to add here that this is not a recent phenomenon, and it's not something which has been like dropped from the sky. It is an organically built, almost more than 2 decades old phenomenon that is now beginning to bloom, and that's important to understand because it was not something which was just started by the Turkish government like this year to create an influence, a sphere of influence. It's something that has grown over the years. It's something which has been grown because of on the basis of inspiration, on the basis of creating a relationship with the audience. That is something which you can't. You just it's organic. It's something which it's very it's not engineered. It's a very sustainable way of moving forward.
Ravale Mohydin, researcher at the TRT World Research Centre. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.